Fun day.
Back at it. Look, you can't get to the weekend unless you get through Monday.
That's true.
Right? That's the way you got to look at it. Got a great show for you today. Tim Brando coming on. Going to talk a lot of college football, Big 12 expansion, maybe even more in the works after adding the next four. Going to talk, obviously, he's not exactly over the moon about what's going on with the SEC. Anytime, Timmy B's fired up about the SEC, we got to get
I get fired up.
That's very true. And we have live calls, 1-855-236-3228. That's 1-855-236-3228. But guys, while I was watching the NBA Finals, which we're going to get to, Oppenheimer.
Another good trailer.
Must see.
Another good.
I haven't been this excited about a movie in movie theaters in a while. Me and Ree were talking about it yesterday. There's another movie that she really wants to see. I can't remember it right now. But when I saw the Oppenheimer trailer again, the actors in that movie, just elite.
I can't
believe
wait.
me. I would know.
Christopher Nolan, man.
Yeah.
Never wrong.
Dark Knight, right? Directed The Dark Knight.
The whole trilogy.
One top 3 movie for me. Dark Knight, The Departed.
Inception, The Prestige.
There's one more in there.
Boss Baby.
Wait, you're saying The Departed is one of your top 3 movies, not that.
Yeah. It's one of my top 3 all-time favorite movies. Did you say Boss Baby?
Legit.
Did Christopher Nolan direct Boss Baby?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Stop.
Yeah, he did. Y'all didn't know that?
You're lying.
Okay. Why would I lie about that? That's such a random thing with David.
I wish I had a.
David, don't look at
I do want to
software.
say as well, I believe Oppenheimer was shot in France.
At Oppenheimer. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Here we go. I saw the tweet.
guy.
It's fine. I mean, it's
That's
betraying your
your
country.
new name.
Here.
Jockey Leclerc. Yeah, I was just waiting the whole time we were in France for somebody to just run into a restaurant or somebody drop something and be like, Sacre bleu.
Oh, I wish.
But it never happened.
I know.
That'd have been
It
such
was a bummer. I'm being there too. It was just such a bummer not to
Nah,
see
you
it.
weren't there.
Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah.
You weren't there. This earpiece is so far in my ear, I can hear its thoughts. The Miami Heat take Game 2 of the NBA Finals from the Denver Nuggets. The Vegas Golden Knights look to extend their series lead in the Stanley Cup Finals over the Panthers tonight. And Timmy B joins us to share his frustrations with the SEC's 8-game conference schedule. I'm Jake Crane, and it's Monday, but it's still a fun day. Welcome to Crane & Company. The Miami Heat in the fourth quarter are just different. Now, after getting dominated in Game 1 and facing a deficit going into the fourth quarter in a hostile environment last night, they scored 36 points. They shot an incredible percentage, and they were able to hold on to give Denver their first home playoff loss of 2023. Now, Jimmy Butler scored a clutch 8 points in a game where he really wasn't relevant until then. And while Jokic was superhuman once again, the Heat didn't let anyone else beat them. Jamal Murray scorched them in Game 1, and while he came on in the last quarter a little bit, he only had 10 points entering that final frame, and it allowed the Heat to just kind of hang around. Now, what's the key ingredient for Miami's late game success? My opinion, it's versatility, the best utility there is. Duncan Robinson came out of nowhere to score a quick 8 points to give them the lead and momentum early in the fourth. Kyle Lowry out-IQ'd the Nuggets multiple times, including drawing a foul on an offensive rebound off a free throw to give the Heat an extra possession where Duncan Robinson hit that three. Caleb Martin, who was under the weather, hit another clutch 3 in the last 2 minutes while really not doing anything else all game. And Kevin Love, a.k.a. Gandalf, helped neutralize the Denver size and added almost 10 boards. Now, that isn't even mentioning Bam Adebayo going dumb and Gabe Vincent continuing to play at a very high clip. Shout out UC Santa Barbara. Now, the main point I want to make is one we say on this show all the time across multiple sports and teams. The best teams can win in multiple ways with multiple guys. Now, I still like the Nuggets to win the series. I said they'd win it in 6 at the beginning. But the Heat have overachieved more than Squints from the Sandlot. If you don't know, he ended up marrying Wendy Peppercorn, which is way out of his league. Believe me, I'd know. And the culture in Miami is in a fantastic place. But I still don't see Jamal Murray continuing to struggle for 3 quarters like he did last night anymore in this series. But on the other hand, sleeping on the Heat is a bad business. Either way, the finals just got way more interesting. I'm bringing my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver and wanted man in 3 different states.
3 now?
3 now. 4.
4 now.
4. I forgot.
Winnie Peppercorn reference.
Oh, yeah.
You get that everywhere.
Yeah, you're not getting that everywhere. Blaine Crane. But, guys, last night, all right, watching that game, the Heat jumped out to a lead in the first quarter. Nuggets kind of seemed like they woke up. And I'm going to get to their overall effort and best and worst. Mike Malone, the head coach for the Nuggets, even talked about it. But just schematically, watching Jamal Murray kind of get bottled up, if you're going, Jokic is going off. You're not stopping Jokic. He's the best basketball player in the world right now. But if you understand, just like we've seen over time with superstars, if he's going to get his, if you don't let anybody else beat you, you got a chance to win the game. And the Heat were able to, they showed up in the first quarter and they showed up in the fourth quarter. Was a hell of a performance, hell of a game plan starting love by Eric Spoelstra.
Well, I thought Charles Barkley made a good point, which was the Nuggets played regular season basketball yesterday and the Heat played playoff basketball yesterday. And another thing is, throughout the Western Conference series, the Nuggets were the underdogs most of the time. Now, I don't necessarily mean that on the betting line, but I'm just talking about from public perception. We were talking about the Golden State Warriors, and we're talking about the Lakers, and we're talking about the Phoenix Suns. So even entering as the overall 1 seed and really the best team in basketball, there were 3 or 4 other teams getting talked about in the Western Conference that the Nuggets really had a chip on their shoulder to prove, no, we are the best team in basketball. Well, now they're so heavily favored against the Heat, and they come out and they look dominant in game 1, that the public perception is, well, man, the Nuggets just might sweep this series. So you know that's just not going to happen against this Miami Heat team. They're so scrappy, and they've come all the way back from a play-in game in which they were down to be able to run all the way through the Eastern Conference Finals, almost blow that 3-0 lead to Boston. So I felt like we were going to get a series some way or another, even if they went down 0-2, that maybe back in Miami they could steal a game or two. But now it's even going back to Dade County. So that's why I'm extremely fascinated by the way that this series could go now is, will the Nuggets be able to turn it around? And you're talking about Jokic is always going to get his. This was the most interesting stat that I found was this yesterday was Nikola Jokic's 3rd 40-point game in the playoffs so far, and the Nuggets have lost all 3 of those games. They're 0-3 when he scores more than 40 points.
Well, Blaine, the biggest difference in this game is the Heat hit threes. I mean, Max
50%.
who went 0 for 10 in game 1, came out and was just firing at an unreal clip. But just looking at the game, it was amazing to me, and I think this goes back a little bit to the effort thing. And it was so easy for the Nuggets in game 1. The Heat struggled to shoot, as I mentioned. But in the second quarter, with that second group, Christian Brown, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green coming into the game, the Nuggets, those guys came in, they got in transition, the effort was there, and they looked like the Denver Nuggets. It was that first group. Michael Porter Jr. But it's one thing not to shoot well, but he gave no effort. How can you give no effort in the finals? It's hard for me, as talented as he is, it would be hard for me as Mike Malone to play this guy a bunch anymore in the finals. You got other guys. Hell, at least Christian Brown is out there just running around trying to make plays. Bruce Brown's playing defense. Jeff Green, who's played in 9,211 playoff games, is basically put together with bubble gum and gypsy tears out there, is playing harder than this guy. But just watching the game, what were your thoughts?
My first takeaway is, one, Bruce Brown needs to play more minutes than Caldwell Pope. I think Bruce Brown only played 27 minutes. Caldwell Pope played 36 minutes, and I know Caldwell Pope's, when it comes, he's an NBA scorer. He's a talented scorer, but Bruce Brown on both sides of the ball, I think, gives you, one, better effort and better transition. 2, I think you have to give a lot of credit to Eric Spoelstra and the way he runs his team. 1, their zone, even when you give up to Jokic, the 40-plus points, he's making guys shoot threes who you don't want to shoot threes, right, in tough situations. Jamal Murray can never really get settled, especially in the first 3 quarters. He found in the fourth quarter, which I'm not surprised by when it comes down to it, Jamal Murray Jamal Murray will hit big shots. But there's no time in this game where the Heat didn't look like they belong on the court with these guys. And coming from a guy who said the Nuggets in 5, at this point, if Spoelstra, you saw a little press in the second half. Eric knows how to get under people's skin, all right? And even with Jokic dropping 40, Jokic was getting upset throughout this game. Now, do I think the Heat are going to win the series? No, I do not. I still have my money on the Nuggets, which I think if you watch basketball, you're going to have your money on the Nuggets. They're so heavily favored. But the series doesn't start until someone wins one on the road.
Yep.
All right, and the Heat did that now. And Miami's not an easy place to walk into and win.
Yeah.
I don't care if you shot 50% from three. I know it matters. But Heat out-effort the Nuggets. And how have the Heat gotten to half the reason they got to where they are? They're out-effering people. I've never seen Bam Adebayo just take a rebound off, right? Take a defense possession off. Gabe Vincent, when he's hot, when Gabe Vincent and Duncan are going, especially from the three, it's Strus too. They're a tough team to beat, man, just the way they play defense. So Jokic is going to get his, but if it's me and I'm Eric Spoelstra, someone else beat me too. All right, someone else beat me. You're not going to stop that guy from Serbia. You're just not.
Yeah, well, and if I'm the Heat and I'm Eric Spoelstra, you know, it was something that made the plane ride extra fun back is I'm looking around my coaches and be like, hey, guys, y'all realize we won this game without Jimmy Butler scoring 50 points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jimmy Butler.
That's
14 out of 18 shots from Jimmy Butler was 18 feet or closer.
Yeah.
Right? That two-man game, his touch was a lot better. You saw the stories of him staying later in the gym, working on his touch. He can come off those picks, especially going into the paint, and hit those floaters, those mid-range jumpers. Jimmy just needs to see it go in. Once Jimmy sees it goes in, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah,
but I think that was a great point because I thought if Miami was, and this was one of my bets I took yesterday for Jokic and Jimmy Butler to combine for more than 75 points because I thought if Miami's going to get one of these games or even keep it close and cover one of these spreads, Jimmy Butler's going to have one of those 45-plus point games. So early on, I was like, it's not working for Jimmy Butler. Let's see if he takes off in the second half. They won the game without him even going off for 30.
Yeah, well, it's again, if you would have told me, and I think you told anybody that knows basketball and have watched this playoffs, the Heat scored 111 points tonight. My first thought would have been like, Jimmy went nuts. Mm-hmm. Like, because again, while the Heat have scored, you know, you're not, and I know Denver's defense isn't exactly the steel curtain, but I mean, at some point, he's their guy. Yeah. He's their scorer. But Bam continues to shoot the ball well in the mid-range, too. Mm-hmm. They got to the free throw line more last night, and they got up and down. But Gabe Vincent, man, just continues to be unbelievably impressive. We do have live calls, 1-855-236-3228. We're going to get to those around 7:30 Central. When I get to the Booster Club, but first, all right, you already know what time it is. We've been talking about it the whole show so far. The NBA Finals are here, which means it's your last chance to get in on all the action this season with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. And new customers can make a $5 bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Wondering what you can use $200 on in bonus bets? Try DraftKings same-game parlays where you can combine multiple bets from the same game into one big bet for a shot at an even bigger payout. That's the most fun thing for me when you're down to a single series like this or just a series in general. So open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, place a same-game parlay bet. All right, download the app now and sign up with code BOOSTER. All right, it helps out everybody, including yourself. That's BOOSTER. Because like I said, new customers can make a $5 bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER. And guys, that's not it. You got college baseball. We got the NHL. We got Stanley Cup Finals that's going on right now. Heck, you could bet on college softball. All right, a little bit of everything. Take Oklahoma. Okay, there's a great hint for you. But if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In UMass, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and older in most eligible states, but age vary by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions may apply. I want to read that really fast. Batteries sold separately.
The whole family's in on it now, boys. I'm out there on the grill. The wife's coming out updating me on line changes.
God,
that's how you know.
You want to know
Vanderbilt minus 2.5.
Yeah, you want to know how you married the right one? That's how. But make sure you sign up with code BOOSTER if you haven't already. Booster Club.
Let's go to Chris E. with a $10 donation. Chris, thank you. He says, heading to a bachelor party this weekend.
Woo!
Any tips on how to make it an awesome weekend for the groom? We have 2 rounds of golf and a party boat planned. By the way, he's a Michigan alum.
Wow.
And
good start.
You're
going to have a good time.
Like 50% of the country went to Michigan, the other 50% went to Alabama.
Just tell him J.J. McCarthy's returning, Blake Corum's returning, and it'll be a good bachelor party.
Look, for sure.
Here's how you do it, all right? You're playing golf. It needs to be a time where there's shots taken. Okay, and I'm not just talking about on the course. Now, I wouldn't go crazy with Fireball, but that's just me, you know, being myself. But I think the thing about the bachelor party is, like, when you get you got to pace yourself somewhat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought we did a good job on my bachelor party of, like, the turn up just got, like, increased as the day went, because you get there, right when you get there, everybody's like, yeah, rage. And all of a sudden, by 6:30, when you're supposed to be going out, you guys are passed out at the house. All right? And everybody's having to get showers. You're having to rally already. But no, man, it's going to be a great time. You can't go wrong with golf and hanging out with the bras.
I agree. I could give you tips, but not on this show. Let's go to the house that Cody built. $5 donation. Cody, thank you. What do you got seeing the Pistons hire of Monty Williams?
I'm going to get to that in my best. I'm going to get to that.
Thank you, that.
I love you're bringing that up, though. I love where your head's at.
Jacob O'Brien, $5 donation. So my Sycamores have advanced into CBB for the first time in school history. My question is, would they host a super regional if Arkansas loses? Hashtag go trees.
If Arkansas loses, I got to see who they're matched up against. We can pull that up because it's pretty simple. Whoever wins the regional, you're matched up against. The higher seed out of the two winners is going to host. But Indiana State, first time ever advancing past the regionals. The Sycamores absolutely love that mascot. Also, Penn, first Ivy League school ever to make a regional, I believe. One, I'm going to get to worse than there. Beat Auburn in game one to become the first ever Ivy League school to win a game in a regional. But we'll look up to where that is paired up. And it's I just love college baseball. It's already been crazy. We're going to get to that in best and worst.
All right, let's go to Deacon and Nora. Hashtag Guys Crane to go. Who do you think will go off in game 3 of the finals?
Jokic. I mean, Jokic. If you're talking about somebody who's kind of undercover, looking at the Heat, I wouldn't be surprised they really don't have. It's nobody be like, hey, Max Strus is going to go off. I'm like, wow, man, that was a great call.
Well, Caleb Martin really hasn't yet.
Well, Caleb Martin hadn't. He was sick. Yes, he was under the weather, and then they started Kevin Love to kind of neutralize, as I mentioned in the open, some of the size there for Denver. But if I had to pick somebody from Denver to maybe go off that you wouldn't expect, Aaron Gordon, that's a popular pick. You know what he did in game 1. Now he was matched up with Gabe Benson a lot. Give me Christian Brown. He got a lot more confidence last night. When he came in, man, he was just a spark of energy defensively. Him and Bruce Brown on the
in a
court.
row and a dunk in 2 minutes. That's what made the rest of the Nuggets stand out.
Yeah, well, Bruce Brown and Christian Brown in there together, man. You talk about a defensive, just guys that are handsy. I mean, it's like me on senior prom.
Bruce Brown plus 14 in the plus and minus. Christian Brown plus 8 in the plus and minus. Give me Michael Porter Jr. to go off next game.
Really? Well, he better just play.
It's just hard to go off when you only play. When it comes to Christian Brown, he only played 14 minutes.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to go.
But
off.
he did. I mean, he got his money's worth.
Let's go to Alex Rafidi, $10 donation. Thank you, Alex. Morning, guys. Blaine, what do the Yanks need to do to help down the stretch? Jake, you look like a meme celebrating St. Patty's Day. And what's your thoughts on the NCAA regional so far? David, hashtag Go Buckeyes.
Okay, well, no, I like the other guy's comment better.
Yep.
But did the Yankees hold off to beat the Dodgers yesterday? Because they were up.
I think they did not.
I know Judge didn't play. He had a sore foot.
Yeah, whatever.
Hold on, I'm on it. They were up when I turned it off.
Yeah, they won 4-1.
There you go. That's what they were up by when I.
Okay, my question was, number one, about the shirt. Yeah. Look, I just put on what they give me, okay? I mean, I know it looks like I'm about to just walk around with blue from Blue's Clues and, live in a paper mache world or whatever, but I'm not a fashion person, whatever. Just down 30 pounds, feeling great about it.
Yeah, you are. You've been to Paris.
Yeah,
You're a fashionista.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. I do know about fashion.
And culinary.
Cross y'all south. But also, the regionals, they've been great. It's been fantastic. Been absolutely fantastic. Really excited about it. And excited about the Super Regionals. All right, let's get to best and worst here.
Best and worst. How about I'll start? How about the Las Vegas Golden Knights? Hey, protecting that home ice advantage. They go up 1-0 on the Panthers, and they beat the Panthers 5-2, which that's the most goals the Florida Panthers have given up since Game 6 of that first round series against the Boston Bruins. We're going to have Game 2 tonight. I'm actually, I think I'm going to be bet buds with you with
coming home,
Florida in Game 2.
Going home,
but we had talked so much about how the Panthers just looked unstoppable, especially coming off a 4-0 sweep of the Carolina Hurricanes, which a couple of us on the show had the Canes winning it all. So for Vegas, who was a 1 seed over there, they're playing the wild card team from the East and the Panthers, to really come out strong in Game 1 and hold that home ice advantage, I thought was fairly impressive.
They look good, man.
5-2, 3 in the third with the line changes in there. So good on Vegas.
Yeah, and I talked about I picked the Panthers to win the series. The thing that scared me, because I do like the Panthers' physicality, not saying the Knights aren't physical. I don't think the Panthers are going to hide in the corners. But when the Knights get hot, they get really, really hot. They're like like when watching the NBA, like all of a sudden, you have that quarter where they just explode for 40 points because everybody's hitting 3-pointers. It's like when, just like in basketball, when the Knights see it go in, it amplifies. They're able to stack goals on goals on goals. They kind of give you an onslaught. It's not like a slow trickle. It's like that they just turn the faucet on, and that's what would worry me. But it's game 1 at home, Stanley Cup Finals. Just like we talked about in the NBA Finals, the series doesn't start until somebody wins on the road, and if you split 1-1, you've won. That's just the way it'll always be. I do like the Panthers tonight. I actually took the over in game 1. I think this one's going to be more low scoring. I don't think the faucet's going to be turned on that quickly, but one of my best, Rose Zhang. All right, we don't talk a lot of LPGA on here, okay? And that's for good reason. But some historic happened yesterday. She became the first player in 72 years to win on the LPGA Tour in her pro debut. She won the Mizuho America's Open with a par in the second playoff hole against Jennifer Kupko. But she just won the NCAAs like last week. And there's a stat, okay, to put this in perspective, because you'll hear that, you're like, wow, that's that's incredible. That's a great stat. I'm gonna give you another one. She passed Tiger Woods' 11 collegiate wins mark 2 weeks ago. Now with the 100% winning rate, she will pass Tiger's 107 worldwide professional titles in the summer of 2020.
So win every single tournament.
That I'm telling you right now,
rate.
this girl is a superstar in the game. But it's incredible what she's done so far, all jokes aside. Coming out and winning your first, living up to
really
the
good.
hype is one of the hardest things to do.
All right, my first one's going to be Trey Richardson from TCU,
This is
baby.
nuts.
A 3 home run performance against Arkansas, 2 grand salamis, and I believe in the first 4 innings. The kid only had 2 home runs all year.
Was this for TCU?
Yeah, TCU versus Arkansas.
20-5.
Trust me, as a guy had Arkansas, looked up. It was in a rain delay.
14-1 in like the
Me
third
too.
one.
That's why I turned it on to.
Right? I was like, well, this is great. But congratulations to him just wearing out right field. 2 grannies to right field and comes up with another home run to right field again. Only having 2 on the year. Some guys just show up in big moments.
Yeah.
Right?
So did he
And
have
he's one of
2 or 3?
3. He had 2
Three.
grand
3 home
slams.
runs, 2 grand slams.
Yeah.
Have an afternoon, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just responsible for like half the runs.
You do that during the
Run
season, like
game.
you're good on ribbies. You don't need any more.
Yeah. I guess I wonder if they win the regional, who's going to win MVP of the regional?
Yeah,
I
definitely
can
not,
tell you.
So Arkansas plays again today.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Still in it.
Yep.
I mean, there was just rain everywhere. It's just
7
like
Tuscaloosa,
every
Alabama.
game was in a
And
weather
here
delay.
too.
Yeah.
Like it was
stormed
incredible.
our place.
Vanderbilt, there's like a 3-hour rain delay going in the bottom of the 9th in an elimination scenario, just wild.
The lightning thing is you have
Yeah.
to wait 30 minutes every time the lightning strikes.
Yeah, which
Look,
I want to
limited
complain
bats.
about it, but I get it.
I get it.
Any other best from you guys? This weekend?
Yeah, I got NBA coach salaries. If you're an NBA coach, the market just got bumped up. Monty Williams signed a 6-year, $78.5 million contract with the Detroit Pistons. That includes an annual average salary of just over $13 million. What does this mean? It means that if you're somebody like Eric Spoelstra or Steve Kerr that's going to be on the market, I know there are 2 different circumstances. Yeah, that mortgage payment just got a little bit easier. And we see this in the NFL. We see this everywhere. Really, coaching salaries continue to increase. But in the NBA front, again, when's the last time coaching salaries went down in any sport? Like that's not even a thing anymore. All they do is go up, but this kind of resets the market a little bit. And if you're a GM, if you're an owner, somebody who's responsible for the money of the team, you better get ready to fork out some, because if Monty Williams, who just got fired from the Suns, just reset the market, only God knows what Miami's going to have to pay Eric Spoelstra, who's been in the Heat organization for like 30 years. He started out as like the towel boy.
Yeah. Video coordinator.
My second one's going to be Victor Hovland. And if you watch this tournament over the weekend, especially late on a Sunday, I mean, the man was walking in down 2 with 3 holes left to play, sinks a 30-foot birdie putt on the 3 hardest holes in the golf course, right? Sinks a 30-foot birdie putt to go down 1, and then a par save on the 18 7-footer to beat and win his first win on American soil.
Yeah.
But absolutely, one of those guys, Victor's one of those guys when it's late, when the clock's running out, give Vicky the ball and let him work. All right, that's what he did.
I didn't realize that was his first win on
Yeah.
American soil. What's his 4th PGA win?
4th, yep.
Something like that?
Mhm.
And look, I believe from Sweden. Is that where he's from? He's played at Oklahoma State. He's from Sweden. Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Some
somewhere around
Scandinavian
there.
country, whatever. But there weren't a lot of golf courses in France. I was surprised
He's
by
from
that.
Norway.
Norway, that's
Oslo,
right.
Norway.
I was close. Still wearing a Wiederhosen. But now I was shocked there weren't that many golf courses in France. There was one we saw when we flew in and landed, but I got a golf ball in Paris, but there wasn't. I thought maybe golf would be bigger over there. It's going to be a lot bigger in like Scotland and Ireland whenever we decided to do that. But it gets the worst.
Yeah, worse. Speaking about France, watching the French Open without Rafael Nadal in it. Look, he has owned this tournament for so long, and it's weird to turn it on and not see Rafa there. We know about some of the injuries that he's had to go through. But what makes it worse is he will likely miss the rest of the year. And it sounds like 2024
Is he done?
His last year.
Is he done?
I don't know. That's the question. I was talking about this with my neighbor yesterday. We were asking ourselves the same question. I don't think so, because he's proven he can bounce back and still play high-level tennis. And every time he's come back from injury, he's popped off a couple majors every single time. So it's not like when Roger Federer finally came back that last time and sort of, did a farewell tour but wasn't winning a lot. I think Rafa can still come back and play very competitive tennis because that's what he's proven to be able to do. But it does look like 2024 will be his last year. And this was hip surgery this time specifically. So he's going to miss at least 5 months, will likely, end his 2023 season.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, we got kind of an end of an era coming down here. I don't know how much Djokovic, who's the other joker that you talk about in sports, has left. But obviously Federer's done. And
yeah, it's pretty sad because Djokovic is still going.
No, look, Djokovic, he's going to outlast all of them. One of my worst, Auburn, Oklahoma State, and Clemson. And look, Clemson was one of the top teams in the country, was as hot as anybody. It goes back to, just because you win your conference tournament, we say this in college basketball all the time, going to the NCAA tournament doesn't mean that you're a lock to move on. Clemson goes down in their own regional, but they didn't get swept out of it. I mean, Auburn, good Lord, guys. I mean, Oklahoma State got drugged to the woodshed, but Auburn just totally forgot how to hit. What an embarrassing offensive performance. And look, I love Butch Thompson. He's an incredible coach. What he's done at Auburn's been unbelievable. But, he came on and was like, well, this team really turned it around halfway through the year. And, what? This is Auburn. This isn't East Tennessee State. You're expected to make a regional. Hell, you're expected to host a regional. Doesn't need to be hey, guys, we really raised the standard. The standard's been raised at Auburn. They sell out whenever they need to sell out. But the Auburn offense was just pathetic. I don't know another way. You got older guys who are used to playing. You go in there and choke against Penn. You choke against Southern Miss. And look, it's baseball. You never know what's going to happen. But just an absolutely embarrassing performance. And you really gave a lot of credence to the people that said Auburn shouldn't have hosted. After watching this, their ass shouldn't have hosted. Just embarrassing. Yeah, I thought Oklahoma State got destroyed, but Dallas Baptist pretty good.
I thought the plate approaches were really bad.
Really bad. Hit a home run. Let's try and hit a home run every time.
When it comes down to when you get to that point, you only have 2 games really to figure it out. So there was no improvement coming in the second game, and I mean, there's no excuses. All right? I'm not going to feel bad for you because you turned it around halfway through the season.
Yeah.
This is Auburn. We expect you to win. You hosted a regional and absolutely did not look like you were prepared to play at all. So am I surprised by this? No. Am I disappointed? For sure.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe next time, less Lake Martin, more batting cage.
Lake Martin is fun, though. I'll give him that. My worst is Marcell Ozuna. And it's not only Marcell Ozuna in this, but he hit a 415-foot single, And a lot of MLB guys like this, maybe I'm old school in this situation, but run your ass around the bases, If you really care about your average or whatever, it's more of a me thing. If anything, you don't know if that ball is going out or not. I don't care if you hit it 415 feet. Run your ass around the bases. He got benched for this. Marcel's one of the hottest hitters right now. In the major league. So I say kudos to the Braves manager.
Snit.
Whatever his name is. I don't pay that close attention to the Braves because
you do.
They're dead.
You know his name.
Just like they're dead to
his
David,
name because your brother
as a Rangers fan. But good for them, Marcell Ozuna, another little notch on the belt of bad discipline. So are we surprised?
God. What a love-hate relationship with Marcell Ozuna.
I know. My last worst, me from last week, I owe a correction and an apology. When I said that in the movie Air, they pronounce Mobile, the great city of Mobile, Mobile. It wasn't Air. It was in that movie Red with Bruce Willis.
Great movie.
And I watched him on the same day. It was a good movie. John Malkovich, incredible. I watched him on the same day. She pronounced Mobile.
Yeah, I just don't know how we do. How's nobody yelling cut?
There's so many people on a film set. I don't know. How does that get through all the trenches?
Are y'all that afraid of this lady?
A bunch of Northerners, that's why.
Yeah.
That's how. That's not one person from the South on there?
Yeah. But
not one person.
Somebody some hell. I'll help.
It's not Mobile.
It's not.
Give me that
wrong.
producer credit.
Wrong.
That producer credit. All right. I do want to say my last worst. A collection. All right. We always talk about how ridiculous men and women's sports is, okay? a collection of former U.S. women's national team players and Wrexham, who's like a 4th division European team owned by Ryan Reynolds, like Snoop Dogg or something like that. They played against each other, okay? Men's team versus a women's team. Now, this is the people that were put together from the women's national team against a bunch of beer league soccer guys, to be honest with you. And Wrexham beat them 12-0. They scored 7 goals in the first 20 minutes. But Heather O'Reilly, okay, who is the coach, I guess, of the put together U.S. women's national team, said, we're super proud. Hopefully we've proved to anybody, just go for it. Just live. What's the worst that could happen? We lose 16-0 to Wrexham? We don't care. And this is a real quote, okay? We don't care because we're living. We're being bold and we're being brave. So apparently they're just alive, okay? Here we have 2 amazing products that American soccer fans are getting behind. It's just a ton of fun, and it's brought all of us together. She told NBC Sports.
That's a real quote? You didn't come up with that.
Good for her.
Bold
this is
and brave.
A real quote. We're living. So that
we're living.
We're living.
We exist.
Wow.
We're here, present and accounted for.
Look, this is why guys shouldn't play against girls. Again, you had this beer league soccer team basically destroy the most successful players in the history of women's soccer. I think Mia Hamm was a coach too on here, but it just goes to show you this is just the stupidest thing. Not that they played against each other for some fun game or whatever, but like people legitimately think men and women should play sports together.
Well, the premise that's been set forth is men and women are exactly equal.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then why is this bold and beautiful and brave?
That's exactly right.
Why is this brave if you're exactly equal with the other players you were playing against?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know.
Let's be honest, it could have been worse.
Oh, they scored 27 goals in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. They scored 7 in the first 20 minutes.
But if you watch the way they scored, it's like watching when like the dads play against the sons.
I watched Kicking and Screaming this weekend.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell.
It'd be like if adults played against that
Pass
team.
it to the Italians.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Hey, at least they're out here playing them. I do get that, but it's what was the other team? They lost to the 15.
The Dallas.
15 and under. But see, that was like the real team. Like this was like put together of like former players from U.S. Women's National Team.
This was
former players. Former players from Wrexham and stuff like that. Again, I mean, these guys just walked out of the pub and dropped a 12-piece. You know what I'm saying, with Cajun fries.
So the real beer league.
I'm just telling you, yes.
I don't know how many more examples do we need of this.
Well, I feel like we probably wouldn't even bring it up or be talking about it if it weren't for their lack of gratitude that they always have when they're talking about, we need to make just as much as the men's team and we're the best soccer team in the world.
Yeah, that's why you don't. That's why you don't. But you're bold and brave and you're living. I've never been
surprised
proud of my life.
Wasn't it? Bold, brave, and beautiful.
Beautiful. You could have added it in there. It wouldn't have shocked me. Everybody's hearing about it. But speaking about hearing about it, let's face it. Inflation's out of control, and our bank accounts are somehow always depleting. My 401k is like a 400k right now. We're officially entering a dupe session. Now, most products do the same thing, all right, but they're priced differently solely based on the brand name. So a good duplicate, or dupe, that's what the kids are calling it, is crucial for getting the highest quality at the best price. One dupe you shouldn't definitely be duped on is Raycon wireless earbuds. They provide premium audio at a perfect price point so you can listen to what you want, when you want, without breaking the bank. Show it to him, Dave.
Right there.
You can get a pair and a spare and pay less than you would with some of those other more big-name tech brands out there. We like keeping it local here. Raycon offers buy now, pay later options. Right now, you can buy as low as $18 at checkouts. All right? These Raycon earbuds, why do you like them? Noise isolation. All right? Got a great color. They're water and sweat resistant for when you're running around. Earbud tap functions. You can look like you're a lot smarter than you are by just touching on it and changing it. Custom gel tips for the best comfort for every ear. I'm telling you, I wear them when I run. Feels good. So get your Raycon earbuds today. All right? We've had a bunch of people already get them at buyraycon.com. That's BUYRAYCON.com/booster. And you get another 15% off this great price. That's buyraycon.com/booster to score 15% off. You heard about it now.
Get a
Raycon.
pair and a spare. Look out for your lady or your guy.
That's exactly
Whoever.
right. Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Father's Day. How much do you love him?
Dad.
We know he's working out again. All right. We know he's running around trying to look good for mom again. All right. Give him those Raycon earbuds. You don't have to go buy any of these crazy priced earbuds. Some of them, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like a mortgage payment to get some of these.
I love them. I love
You got them first day.
Like, look, when I in the gym, I'm a hard runner. All right.
What do you mean by that?
I got heavy feet.
Okay.
Yeah, heavy feet. All right. They come my whole body shakes. I'm on the treadmill. I'm getting it. All right. They don't even move in my ears. Other companies, AirPods, boom, straight fall out.
Yeah.
Half a mile in,
It's Fallout
the right
Boy.
one's falling out.
It's Fallout
These,
Boy.
I can't hear. You have to yell at me.
Sugar,
right
they're
next
going
to me.
down swing.
I can barely hear you. I mean, when I'm benching, you know what I'm saying? I flex the brain too when I bench.
Yep.
So I shake my head.
We got Tim Brando coming on here in a minute. We also have live calls going on here in about 26 minutes.
Something like that.
That's quick math.
What a
1-855-236-3228. But we're going to the Booster Club right now.
Let's go to Mike RFF. It's a lifestyle, baby. It's a lifestyle right here. All right, he wants to know, do you guys think Jimmy Butler looks gassed? Jokic looks energetic while Butler isn't attacking the basket. He seems to be playing timid and hoping his teammate make plays. Mikey, what game are you watching, dog?
I don't disagree with him in the first half yesterday.
Well, I think what you're
disagree.
getting is Jimmy Butler's struggling with the size of the Nuggets. It's tough to drive on him. He's not able to get to the basket as easy as it was last game, but I think he's doing a good job of passing once he gets down there. We saw it a couple times last night. But think, the Heat just played a 7-game series against the Celtics where Jimmy had to take over for a majority of those games, and you're playing Denver in altitude. That's why I think that Spoelstra's done a really good job with the rotations and adjusting, adding that extra guy in there with Kevin Love. It's taking a little bit of pressure off Jimmy. And what was Jimmy able to do last night? When they had to have it, he hit a couple really, really big buckets, including that 3. Remember, if you donate, your question gets read.
But he did look a little bit tired in the first half, though. And another part of that was he ran into Kevin Love at one point. Wasn't it Kevin Love?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, he came in with an ankle thing.
Yeah, he came in injured, and that's what I thought it was mostly when I didn't see Jimmy Butler attacking the basket. But I had forgotten, too, about the altitude.
Do you
That's
think,
another good point.
did you think he looked gassed in the second half?
No,
And what changed?
not as much.
It's so hard for me to think you come into a game gassed, but all of a sudden in the second half, you're not gassed anymore.
Well, I mean, are we talking about I think when you use the term gas, is that you look tired running up and down the court, and
You're the
playing
last one
hard.
up.
You're the last
You're the
one
last
up.
one up on the
Jimmy
court.
didn't look gas. It looks to me like Jimmy is not able to play to his strength, and that is driving to the basket, pulling up for the mid-range, and going in the free throw line. But what is he doing now? He's driving and kicking. He's not putting up crazy shots. He's not putting up stupid shots. He's going after rebounds. He's making smart decisions. You can win in other ways. I mean, you brought up Jokic. Every time he scored 40 points, it's like the Nuggets have lost. Like you win in different ways. I think Jimmy understands that, and he understands how important the team is around him. It's not about how many points he gets. It's about how many points the Heat get compared to the other team.
And he was missing a lot of shots, too.
Yeah, he was. We'll say this.
started
He
making
was
them.
attacking the basket in yesterday's game.
Yeah.
On the stat I put up earlier, all of his shots were 18 feet or closer, 14 of them. And that's what you want for Jimmy. You don't want Jimmy out there shooting 8 threes. It's not who he is. Let's go to Texas Ed. Does Oral Roberts become the first 4 seed to make the CWS since Stony Point in 2012?
Stony Brook. I think it was Stony Brook that you're talking about. But yes. Yes. You know, we always joke around about Oral Roberts and NCAA tournament. You know, are they going to talk their way out of this one? I mean, they've just made it look easy. They made it look easy. And again, you get hot at the right time. But whenever I see these smaller teams, what does it come down to? Depth. What type of depth? Pitching depth. That's where when you get into the back ends of these regionals, after your first guy's thrown, I mean, we saw a bunch of Friday night guys or aces go the whole distance. But no, it comes down to pitching depth, and they have it. But again, when you're swinging the bat, the way that Oral Roberts is, when you're defending the way that Oral Roberts is, baseball is a game of making routine plays routine, and that's what they've done. It's been really, really impressive. All right, one more really quickly.
All right, Chris Walton wants to know, hashtag Ask Crane and Company's got a little MLB action. Steven Strasburg has been shut down from all athletic activities, and they fear he will never pitch again.
Yep.
Can we all agree that Strauss gave his right arm for that 2019 World Series?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And look, when you talk about hype, he was one of the most hyped up baseball players that we've seen in a long time. Coming out of college, was throwing over 100 miles an hour, dealt with some injuries, but he did get in his bag somewhat, and I think it was a successful career for Steven. Did he live up to the hype that everybody else put on him? No. Nowadays, you look around 100 miles per hour, you know, it's not, you're coming up throwing the way Strasburg was at San Diego State. Yeah, you're getting a lot of hype, but they're not calling you, you know, like the chosen one and all that stuff. But remember, we're going to get back to the Booster Club. If you donate, your questions read, get in on those donations. We're going to bring in Tim Brando, our good friend from Fox Sports, right after we tell you why he's jacked and I'm jacked. really one of the reasons we're always excited because we drink Black Rifle coffee in the morning. It is the #1 coffee in the world. And I don't care what you'll say, I die on that hill. Father's Day is coming up quickly. As I was thinking about what I'm getting, for my not father who's alive anymore, but there's a special person in my life who I like to give things to on Father's Day, who was a father figure to me. I thought there's no better gift than Black Rifle coffee. We know how busy dads are. He doesn't always have time to brew coffee the traditional way each morning. That's why he's going to love Black Rifle Coffee's ready-to-drink can. It's perfect for people who need their coffee quickly, and each can contains 200 milligrams of caffeine and is available in a variety of delicious flavors like vanilla bomb. It explodes deliciousness, salted caramel, mocha, and vanilla caramel. They're a veteran-founded coffee company operated by principled men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. We just had Memorial Day. With every purchase you make, they give back. So stop running out of coffee and sign up for a coffee club subscription to have Black Rifle coffee delivered straight to your door on a schedule. We go through 40 pounds a week of it here at Daily Wire. So save money and drink America's coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use promo code BOOSTER at checkout. That's BOOSTER for 10% off your one-time purchase or first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. You can also find it in grocery stores and convenience stores near you, but you want to get it online to help us out. What flavor you got, David?
The Headless Horseman's Roast, a.k.a. pumpkin spice, because it's never too early to start dreaming about the fall.
That's exactly right.
Ichabod Crane over there.
Yeah.
Hey, little power llama. Llama with guns on it.
Yeah.
And here's some coffee, too.
Grow up. Great stuff. BlackRifleCoffee.com, promo code BOOSTER. All right, Tim Brando, everybody. From Fox Sports. I've teased it enough, and we got him here. And he's fired up. I love fired up Timmy B. I love Timmy B in general, but I love fired up Timmy B. And do you have a lightsaber, Timmy? Is that what that was? That shining thing right there?
Yeah, I'd forgotten to put it up there. I backlit Chateau Brando so it wouldn't be so dark. We're in Central Time Zone here, and I forgot to put the shining light on. So, hey, congratulations. I know you had the nuptials. You've been to Paris.
Yes.
You've been across the pond.
Yes.
I noticed today the shirt, it looks okay. It's not great. It's okay.
Yeah.
But you're sending a message that maybe you're going to be softening up now since you're married. You got this sort of Beach Boys surfer shirt on. He's got this sort of a Beach Boys surfer shirt.
Yeah, look, I'm never wearing this shirt again.
You just gotta let
I'm never. They've put me in this like 4 times. I look like Steve from Blue's Clues. Yeah. I'm never wearing this again.
Well, listen. I'm living in a pink house. Everything in my house is pink, lavender, or dusty rose. The only thing in my house that's blue and brown are my eyes and my feelings and the study that I used to do my show out of for many, many years. That's it. So listen, don't sweat the small stuff. If the wife wants you to soften up the looks a little bit, go with more pastel colors, do it. Okay, just go ahead and do it.
There you go.
Yeah, look, Tim, I think it's the softening up part. If softening up means saying you're right a lot more, then you've got me nailed. I'm learning even this early in the marriage, the words "you're right" can take you so far. And people can call that simping, but guess what? I call it strategy, and it's smart.
Yeah. Yes, dear.
Yes.
It helps a lot, too.
That's exactly right.
People ask me what I do in the off season when I'm not calling football and basketball. Okay, I basically go to Home Depot, pick up compost or whatever else she needs, right? I mean, that's what I do. And I just say yes, dear, when she asks me to dump dirt. Okay, I got to dump dirt here, dump dirt there, because I don't know about your wife, but mine's a green thumb. That's her golf. So yeah, these are the kind of compromises you can live with.
Yeah,
okay,
well, believe me,
it'll be 40.
Yeah, we went to Lowe's and I bought an electric lawnmower yesterday.
So it was like a good weekend at Home Depot.
Yeah, we were gonna go if we had time.
We had to go to the Home Depot.
Yeah, so that's
my God.
I'm already deep in it.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, I know.
Elon Musk, you got an electrical vehicle coming.
Yeah,
soon,
I got the Tesla version. It can it has Wi-Fi too. It's incredible. But Timmy B, I've got to ask you the SEC stuff. I want to get to the Big 12 stuff in a second, but I've been watching on social media. The SEC goes to an 8-game, are going to keep the 8-game schedule, kind of like a bridge. I just want you to tell everybody your thoughts on the whole situation.
First and foremost, it's as I mentioned on a tweet last week. To whom much is given, much is expected. Okay, and The Southeastern Conference has been given a lot. It's given its schools a lot. Only one conference gets more money from television. We know who that is. The television deal was made almost 5 years ago for $300 million. They haven't even executed the television deal yet. And now you've got a group of underling presidents. When I say underling, I mean schools that are just battling to get into the bowls that they play at 6-6 that are now taking over and making sure that they keep 8 games for fear that one extra loss could cost them a bowl opportunity. Boy, you talk about backwards thinking. At a time when the SEC is labeling itself as the It Just Means More League, you just sent all the wrong images and impressions. The commissioner who during COVID, I gave him as much applause as anybody in media. There was no doubt that Greg Sankey looked like a true leader during COVID. He looked like a true politician, anything but a leader down in Destin. They spent, the SEC, 15 plus months getting everybody in the media aware and everybody in the SEC aware of who the 3 teams would be. Here's how we're going to trot out the 9-game schedule. And given the fact that you're going to a 12-team playoff in 2 years after the 25 season, absolutely no question you have to play 9 games if you want your 9-3 team that's going to be on the cusp of being 10th, 11th, or 12th, the kind of resume needed to combat other 9-3s in conferences that are playing one more conference game than you, which is basically everybody. Okay? So they took a giant step backward, and I'm going to call him out. He looked about as bad in leadership this past week in Destin as he did when he was dealing with the Florida LSU flap. Remember that scheduling fiasco between Joe Oliva, the then LSU AD, and Jeremy Foley, the then Florida AD, and they put him out on CBS with Vern and Gary to try to do an interview, and he couldn't answer anything because the presidents and the ADs of those 2 schools were clearly pushing him around. He did not look like a commissioner that day, and he did not look like a commissioner last week in Destin. And I'm just, look, if you're telling me this guy's the most powerful man in college football, I've got great expectations. And Greg Sankey is a good man. He wants to play 9 games, but he won't even say it publicly. He wanted 9 games, and everybody knew it. And I couldn't get over, the frothing at the mouth that was taking place on Feinbaum's show because Paul couldn't ask the direct questions either for fear that his bat phone was going to ring. So he's asking all these guys from websites to tell him what he already knew. And that is that the Southeastern Conference presidents had their hand out wanting more money from ESPN. Why should ESPN pay them more money? They have a $300 million deal that they made in 2019 or 20, was actually consummated, I think, in 19. Hell, that's almost, well, it is 4 years ago. It's about to be 5. I mean, it doesn't go into play until not this fall, but next fall. And they're saying for one more game, you got to give us another, what, 50 million? Really?
Yeah, I think it was like $5 million per team or something like that. 5 to 7 million per team.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Here's what happened, and no one wants to say this. No one wants to say it. He made that television deal too early. He didn't he, being the commissioner, made that TV deal way too early. The Big Ten is going to make more. They are making more. And they'll probably make even more for a long period of time. Because he chose to make a deal 4.5 years ago. The money was, they stopped the presses there. They brought Laura Rutledge out and did a huge bulletin. Breaking news, we got a new TV deal. Well, 4 years has passed. The market has changed. And the Big Ten, that deal dwarfs the SEC per team. It does. So now they're saying, well, it's TV's fault. They don't want to give us any more money. Excuse me for defending the suits and the overlords of Burbank and Bristol to ESPN, but they've already made that deal.
Yeah.
Why should they give them more money when they've already got to carry every game they play? I mean, that's a complete joke.
I'm with you.
Absolute joke. Looking to play the blame game. Let's pass it off to TV. It's those crooked guys in suits on the West Coast and the East Coast that are the reason for this problem. We're going to, by the way, it's just a one-off. We'll only do this for 1 year. Really? Are you sure? Are you sure you're going to be able to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. And the big losers here are the fans. The fans that are paying the exorbitant amounts of money that they pay to see Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, Furman, the Citadel, Savannah State, Jacksonville State, whoever else that's a state that's not a state, that's going to come in and play a game rather than a conference game being played on your home schedule. And to my friends in Georgia who think I hate them and think that, oh, God, because he threw out in his interview with Feinbaum, well, 65-7 tells me all I need to know. That is not what a commissioner says. Throwing TCU under the bus the way he did, throwing Mike Oresco, the commissioner of the American Conference, for fighting for his league and saying, well, I'm not the one that said P6. That was very uncommissioner-like, very it just means more like.
Yeah. And Tim, the thing that I'm looking at is I agree with you. But believe it or not, you know me. I know that I don't think you can dispute the SEC is the king of college football right now. I don't, and that's not even the argument. You have to honor your deal. You made your deal, and you have to honor it. Now, there comes a point in time where there's some renegotiations and things like that, but this just isn't one of them. I wouldn't pay you more money on top of the deal that we already made for adding an extra game within the conference that I made the deal with. And if it was just about, I understand some schools in 2024 saying, hey, we don't want to get out of some of these games that we already have in the non-conference. If it was just about that, then I would understand it. But the schools, I think this is a mindset thing. And this is what I think shows you what separates the big dogs from the medium and little dogs in the SEC. I would look at it as, you know what, that ninth conference game, because we're going to start hearing a term in this 12-team college football playoff, the bubble team. It's a bubble team.
Yeah.
I look at it as it gives me, what do bubble teams at the end of college basketball season need? What do they have to have? Strength of schedule. You don't want those last 4 games to be against bottom dwellers. You want to have a chance to go beat somebody that can help you improve, get another quad 1 win. I look at it as giving myself another opportunity to be able to win a game, to either make a bowl game or get into the playoff. It's just all about mindset to me, and I think that's what separates. That's the problem that I have. I know the conference is tough. I get it, and guess what? You go to 9 conference games, my ass ain't scheduling Oregon week 1. I'm not scheduling Miami. I'll play some cupcakes outside of that because it's a 9-game conference schedule. So it balances itself out. I don't like the mindset of I'm afraid to play teams in my own conference. And that goes for everybody that was against it. Look at what did Kirby say? I don't even care about this argument. Let's play. Let me roll my team out there. And I don't blame him for Oklahoma getting taken off the schedule this year and then looking really weak because they're coming to the SEC. So that's my biggest problem. The mindset of some of these teams of, oh, well, I'm afraid we're not going to make the Cheez-It Doritos Bowl or whatever like that. Man, screw that. That may give you that win to bump you into that 12th spot or that 11th spot. It's just, big dogs bark loud. Stop acting like a puppy.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal, okay? They put it to a vote, and then they come out with this, we're unified crap. It's all spin. It's all spin. Mark Keenum, the president of Mississippi State, is one of the brightest men in intercollegiate athletics. And without him, I don't know that we could have solved the problem of staying with 4 and going to 12. The presidents did that deal. The commissioners didn't. I'm really dissatisfied with a lot of what's taken place with the commissioners, their inability to be collegial and work together for the greater good. And this is an example of it. When you got name calling taking place and pettiness and arrogance on display, which I thought were items that were exhibited by arguably the most powerful man in college football, Greg Sankey. Again, as I said, to whom much is given, much is required. And he didn't meet the bar, in my opinion. And it's not like other conferences don't have issues. Clearly, the Big Ten has issues. Tony Petitti is dealing with a few presidents, 3 of them, who apparently have a problem playing at night. Okay, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State have a problem playing at night in November. Hey, fellas, you better grow up. That money, those coffers, that's coming in from television. You're going to have to deal with that at some point down the road. but that's another story for another day. It's just the whole texture of it. It smacks of massive provincialism and arrogance. Okay, we're the SEC. We can do whatever we want. And I got to tell you, in my many years growing up in this conference and growing up in the state of Louisiana, I've dealt with he's an SEC guy. That's why he's saying this. And you guys know, because you listened to me and watched me during the time that I worked at CBS and maybe a little bit at ESPN. At least you saw some videos. I will carve my knife in every direction.
Yeah,
necessary. I simply say what I see. And what I saw last week in Destin was not the kind of leadership that could go up on Capitol Hill for a little more than a photo op and try to get something done for the real problem, which we know is the portal and NIL working in concert. And they're going to go up there in a couple of weeks, or less than a couple of weeks, for a photo op. And that's all it's going to be, because your commissioner is no different than those politicians. Absolutely no different than those politicians. And we got to get the leaders. And I think that Greg can still be one of the greatest and biggest voices in college football. He should be. This was weak. This was a weak showing from the commissioner of the SEC. And let's just tell the media and expect them to take their marching orders and run with it, which for the most part has happened. Now, they've gotten more pushback from those outside the ESPN world. Okay, a lot of people, not just me, a lot of people have blown back on this, and they should. But we're living in a world of images and impressions, and this is a bad image for college football before these guys go up and ask for help from Congress so that they can get their real issues fixed. And this was another example, too, of why we need a czar for college football, why we need someone looking out for the greater good. This was a provincial move. It was a greedy move, and it was based on placating to a group of presidents that shouldn't have that kind of influence. If Mike Slive, God rest his soul, were alive, those presidents would have been in lockstep with their commissioner. The fact that they felt like they could push this and make sure it stayed at 8 tells me they deem him as a weak leader. Yeah. They won't say it, but they deem him as a weak leader.
Two things on that, Tim. One, is there an argument to be made that if your television partner, in this case ESPN, isn't going to pay you more money, then from a negotiating standpoint, it makes sense to stay at 8 games rather than provide an additional 9th game until you can get that additional revenue in, just from a negotiating standpoint? And two, on the logistics side of this, like, if Texas and Oklahoma are coming into the SEC, which they are next season, how many more teams can you expand to until you have to expand the schedule, or else you risk not, identifying a true champion within the conference?
Well, I mean, that's the reason everyone anticipated it was going to be 16. It was sold to us. It was hyped to us. The SEC sent out the messages. There were leaks to media all the time over the last 15 plus months about this. We know who the 2 primary rivals are. We know who everybody knew. And then suddenly the narrative changed about the time they got their scuba gear ready off the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, people were shocked that this was happening early in the week. And then by the end of the week, it was like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. Yeah, this is really not a surprise. Well, you know how the drive-by media works. And once again, their comeback is, we're the big dog. We can do whatever the hell we want to do. Okay, that's fine. You are the big dog. You've won more titles. You've hoisted more crystals than anybody. But you know what? When you fail, you fail. And this was, in my opinion, a classic fail. The bottom line is, ESPN's going to pay the money because they've got to carry every game. But this should have been thought about, needing extra money, when they allowed their commissioner to do a deal for television 4 years out. Yeah. That's bad business. Okay. I'm here to tell you, because I have the information. Okay. A lot of other networks would have been interested in bidding on the SEC rights back in 2019. They could have gotten more money than they ultimately did get from ESPN if they had just put it up for bid. Greg Sankey chose not to talk with any other television executives. Remember that spin? We're going to stay with ESPN because we want to deal with one company, one entity. They can help us from a scheduling standpoint. Remember all that? It's much more convenient this way. And no, that's bad business. You should have opened this up for bidding. What opens up? When the bidding opens up, it drives the price up. It's capitalism at work.
For sure.
And ESPN did due diligence, made the best deal that they could. And to go back to them and say, this weekend they did it, hush, hush, in the hallways. Well, we'd probably do it if ESPN gave us more money, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, oh, by the way, you're obviously oblivious to the world around you. ESPN is having massive cuts, okay? Over 7,000 people are losing their jobs because Disney, the corporation, said, you know what, we got to do this, even though ESPN is the most viable portion of the Disney company financially. They're oblivious to this. The SEC couldn't care less about those issues. All they want is their money, greed, and provincialism at work.
Yeah, the SEC, they have touched more crystal than Jesse Pinkman. What do you got over there, B?
You done, Dave?
Yes.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go to Swanee, Tim. $5 donation. He just wants to tell you, hashtag for Tim Brando. Thank you for representing the 318 so well. You are Northeast Louisiana royalty. Hashtag Funro Monroe.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that.
Let's go to Travis Elrod. He wants to know, will the ACC survive long term, and are we heading to only 4 power conferences?
I don't think that we're headed to the 4 power conferences as quickly as people would like to think. I do believe, based on what's happening in the Pac-12, that the Big 12 is going to continue to expand. I think realignment. And remember, all that with USC and UCLA happened when last year, fellas? You remember the weekend? Was 4th of July weekend.
Mm-hmm.
About a month from now, there will be more decisions made. I felt when Deion Sanders took the job at Colorado, he felt like Colorado might opt for the Big 12. I really do. And I believe that there's a very good chance that not only will the Buffaloes go to the Big 12, but so too will Utah, so too will the Arizona schools. And I think there's a very good chance now, solely because of the travel schedules of the non-revenue producing sports, that the Big Ten could expand as well, and Oregon and Washington somehow find their way in there. When that happens, I don't know. But if I'm George Kliavkoff, I'm really concerned. Clock's still ticking, no TV deal as yet, and Brett Yormark doesn't seem to care about fixed numbers, nor he's got control of his presidents too.
Yeah,
okay. If they're bringing in more teams, those teams are going to get the same amount of money, and I think all those presidents are going to be in lockstep with him. I think the Big 12 has a chance to become a very, very strong third conference amongst what is deemed the Power Five, and I too want to get rid of that. I think we just need to call it Division I college football. But the ACC has real issues when you have 7 teams wanting out. But here's the problem. And again, it comes back down to poor TV dealing. And John Swofford was a good man. I knew him well. He was very good to me in the time that I covered ACC basketball. But that was that was a terrible deal. His presidents wanted a conference network to keep up with the Joneses and the SEC. ESPN didn't want to do that. ESPN finally decided they'd do it with one caveat. We're only going to pay you this for your football package. And those teams are at $12 million per team? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They're going,
might as well give them $10.
They're in trouble, big time trouble. And I think the only saving grace really for the ACC financially would be to try to help in any way they possibly can the Pac-12.
Yeah.
In any way they possibly can, try to help what's left of the Pac-12.
Definitely. Well, Tim Brando, Fox Sports, one of the best in the business. Timmy B, love having you on, and a smooth lefty off the tee. I'm going to go burn this shirt.
He looks so good at it.
Listen, I'm not surprised that when you were flying over Paris, you didn't notice as many golf courses. Okay. Yeah. You need to follow Justine's lead and go to Ireland.
Go to Ireland. Very true.
That's where you need to go.
Very true.
Every course is an old course. Even new courses are old courses.
And you can just hit it anywhere and go find it. That's the best part I heard about it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Timmy B, appreciate it, my friend. Great stuff as usual.
Happy to do it, fellas.
All right, brother.
Thank you, man.
See ya. Tim Brando, man, one of the best.
Come on.
All right, phone calls.
Phone calls.
Let's get
All
to
right,
it.
let's start with Noah in Texas. Noah, what's going on, man? Noah.
Noah,
You on that arc? Come
Noah,
on,
you
bud.
there?
bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Skyhook?
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 Can you hear me?
There he is.
Skyhook.
There it
Skyhook.
is.
You want us
Got
to
it.
Skyhook you? Just walk outside, turn around.
Is that your
got
call
it.
sign?
Morning.
Yeah.
My call sign's Woody Ninja.
Yeah,
Woody
Woody.
Ninja.
Hiya! I like that. Hey, it's wood.
All right, so I got 3 points and a question. So we're going to go a little rapid fire. You ready?
Let's do it.
Pew.
All right. First point. The yes or no segment was absolutely fantastic. And I think I speak for all the Booster Club when I say we want to see more of it.
Gotcha.
Love that.
Davey's going to love
Shout
that.
out to Ben
Gas him
Davies.
up.
Shout out to Ben
How much did Ben pay you to say
Yeah,
that?
gas. Ben, is this Ben's dad? Is this Papa Davies? No,
Don't
that was
tell
a lot
him
of
I'm
fun. That was a lot of fun.
All right, point number 2. Do my ears deceive me, or is David Cohn now a Texas Ranger fan?
Texas Rangers
Yeah,
fan.
look.
A lot
It's
of
a
things
bad
are, I
time.
want to
It's-
answer this.
No, it's
a lot of
bad
things
time.
are going on with David lately. I don't know if this 2 weeks is like a midlife crisis. He's no longer a Rangers fan, and I can 100% guarantee. I can't.
No
A few
longer a
days
Braves
ago,
fan.
David said the 2 words Ohio State.
He said it.
together.
He said
I
it.
heard him say.
You're
I was in the
gonna-
middle
you're
of a
gonna listen to-
conversation.
you're gonna
He was
believe
behind
this
him.
guy, Noah?
It stopped.
No,
my
it's-
conversation.
I heard him too.
David's
He
going
said
through it right now.
No. First of all, midlife crisis. That means I'm halfway done now? Halfway finished? Second of all, I didn't say it, okay? You're
Yeah,
lying.
you did. Yeah, you
And
did.
third
You
of
definitely
all,
said
Third of
it.
all, I did not say that I don't care about the Braves anymore. I was very careful with my
No,
words. I did not say. I didn't even say
Oh
I'm no
my
Why
longer
you
a Braves
talk different
fan.
you did before?
All I said was I am now a Texas Rangers
You literally
fan.
said you're not a Braves
You
fan.
said you're not a Braves
You
fan
literally
anymore.
did
said
not
that.
say that.
It's
Oh
did
my
not say
God,
those
this show's
words.
recorded.
Did not say those. I
You
just
said it was a
I'm
Pride
now
night.
I said I'm now a Texas Rangers fan. I didn't say anything about the other teams.
You
So
said
you're
you were
not a
not
fan
Braves
of multiple teams?
In the same thing?
Yes, okay? Because the Rangers, Noah, are the only team in Major League Baseball to not host a Pride Night. I'm a new Texas Rangers fan.
All right.
But they did host a Pride night, just not the way you thought.
And it just is inconvenient for me that they're at the top of their division right
Ron, Ran,
now.
and Frankie. I
'Cause
get
I look
it.
like a front runner, and it's not my fault.
What
Hey,
else you
well,
got?
I'm
Noah?
hyped for the Rangers doing well, and we're happy to have you as a fan, David.
Thank
I
you,
was
Noah.
over the moon, discovered that the Rangers are not having a Pride night. And as a Texas boy, point number 3, I think I know my way around barbecue pretty well.
Oh, please.
And knowing that, Jake, you until you get down here and try some Texas barbecue,
Okay.
you can
Yeah.
take your terrible
Yep.
taste back to France.
Yeah.
Take
it
back to
International
France.
Icon
Here's what
is
I don't-
surrender.
Here's
Yeah.
the part. No,
Traitor.
Get off
Here's
this
the
Raider.
part.
Good for you, Noah.
Here's the. He's got the gun. Here's the part that I don't understand. All I talked about was the baked ribs. Now, I even said we should open up an American barbecue shop in Paris. Did I not say that? Southern style barbecue in
No,
Paris.
I didn't hear
I'm
you
not
say
talking about pulled pork. I'm not talking about barbecue baked beans. I'm not even talking about ribs you put on the grill, you psychos. I'm talking about baked ribs. Baked ones. That's it. Nada, bing, bang, boom.
No,
That's
you're
it.
French.
All the other
Look,
stuff,
look.
I love coleslaw. I love grilled ribs. Barbecue
not
chicken.
barbecue.
Oh God, sign me up. Pour it all over me. Pour it all over my face.
You've let Noah down.
I'll swim in it.
People from France don't bake ribs better than people from Texas.
Yes, they do.
Or from
Yes,
Alabama.
they do.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
They don't, Noah. Tell them.
Yes, they do.
Tell them, Noah.
Absolutely not. Jake,
Thank you.
I'm going to have to ask you to get off my lawn.
Ah, get off of
See,
it.
Don't even ask
Get
him.
off
Just
of
tell
it.
him and
Yeah,
point
get
that
off of
finger.
it.
Now I'm hurt. Y'all can continue with
Noah,
the
what part of Texas are you in?
I'm in Plano, Texas.
Hey.
Plano.
Oh.
Hey.
Dallas
You know what I heard
area.
Plano
Plano has?
barbecue's extra.
I heard they had great
I heard
baked ribs.
I heard those baked ribs are
Great baked
plain,
ribs.
bro.
Plano. Love to hear it. Thanks for calling in, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.
Appreciate it. Go Rangers.
I got one more.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Your
Go ahead.
question, yeah.
Real quick.
Okay.
Dave's trying to kick
All
a
right.
Rangers fan out of here.
Which sport has the worst officials, and why is it Major League Baseball?
I would
and it's
say
up there. They're up
I
there.
would say basketball.
I would say basketball too.
I'd say basketball.
I'd say basketball.
Is it me?
Because they call every game different.
Is it me or the dramatic difference between regular season play calling?
Yeah.
To
They let them play.
postseason?
It's a different
It's
game.
like if you whisper at somebody in the regular season, that's foul. You're
But
out of
it's
the game.
not just
you can
NBA.
punch someone in the groin in the playoffs.
But it's not
You're
just
like, no,
the
it's
NBA,
clean.
it's college basketball too. They officiate every game different. And I'm not saying it's easy, but you know what? At least for Angel Hernandez, I know he's going to call balls, strikes. I know he's going to be bad, but he's consistently bad.
I would
the
say
same
baseball
way.
has some of the best.
Compared to basketball, yes. Now NFL, that's a tougher one. We're talking about football.
It's all fixed
different.
anyway.
Boxing has
It's
some
all
bad ones,
fixed
too.
anyway.
Boxing has some bad ones too.
Hockey has the best to me.
Hockey has the best.
You
I agree.
rarely
I agree with that.
rarely see a controversy.
I do agree with that.
We
I
saw
do
one
agree
in
with
that Maple Leafs game in that
Yeah.
first series, but
Yeah,
other than
but
that,
one compared to what we
exactly.
see.
That's why it
all
stands
I would agree
out.
with that. That's great.
No, I appreciate it, man. Enjoy
Thank
those
you, Noah.
average baked ribs out there.
Thanks, man. All right, let's go to Jared in Seattle. Jared.
Let's go,
Jared's a
Jared.
Gonzaga fan. Jared, what's going on?
Listening.
Guys, I'm not a Gonzaga fan. I don't know why.
His wife.
said your
Wife.
girl.
That's his
I said-
wife.
Oh, it's his wife.
Not everybody's a fan of
I
9
didn't know if
different
y'all were
teams in the
officially
same
married.
league.
Jared with the
Your
voice
girl.
of a god.
That's still your girl, though.
No, man, it's actually crazy. My wife studied abroad in Paris for like a year when she was at Gonzaga. And so, like, for the past week, all that she's been saying is how she finally agrees with Jake for the first time. So
Yes.
it's been,
Yes, she knows. Again, if you've never been over there and
Look.
eaten, how can you have an opinion?
Jake and Gonzaga fans. They're both right here together. Yeah.
Who'd have thought? You never thought that would happen. That'd be like
Now a
AOC
Gonzaga fan.
That'd be like if they caught AOC making out with Ted Cruz and like
Now it's
Halls of
weird.
Congress.
Keep going, Jared.
I don't know. I'm a Missouri boy, like, born and raised. So when I hear barbecue, like, I definitely think that we know what we're talking about, kind of more so than the Texas people, no offense. But, yeah, like, that is what it is. Oh, yeah, just one more comment, too. There was a guy who called in on Friday who was a KU fan, and that really confused me because I didn't know KU fans existed, like, in like, November.
He's talking about
They were
James.
like,
He's talking about James.
but he's like going in on Cone, and I'm like, and I'm just confused because I'm like, dude, like, I thought y'all were in hibernation, but it's fine.
Well, I thought it was funny how he was like, all Michigan fans do when they lose is make excuses. And then he made like 9 excuses about why Kansas didn't make it.
Yeah.
Hey, they got Hunter Dickinson, Jared, and so he came out of hibernation.
He wanted to turn the knife.
Hunter
in a little
Dickinson
bit.
literally said, "Well, I'm getting more in NIL from Kansas. I was getting under 6 figures at Michigan."
Darn.
And then James said, "No, that's an excuse." No, that's his reasoning. I'm
not even mad at it.
That's a fact.
It's like, I'm not mad at you about
So
it.
I literally, kind of like, I don't have anything against, that's not true. I do have a lot against Kansas fans, but like, I literally heard Hunter Dickinson say it on a podcast. I heard him say it on a podcast.
Some people
But
you
no.
can't help, Jared. You can't help some people, man.
Yeah, that's fine. But no, quick question for you guys. After we've seen games 1 and 2 in the finals, how do you guys see this playing out? I know Spoelstra made some key adjustments, especially defensively, that really
Yeah.
kind of led them back into it, kind of with the hot shooting as well. So just want to get your take on that.
Yeah, I still like the Nuggets. I picked the Nuggets in 6 before this series started. I don't think Jamal Murray's going to struggle for 75% of the game like he did last night for the rest of the series. I think they're going to split in Miami. I think it's going to be 2-2 going back to Denver. I just think at the end of the day, Jokic is such a good – there's going to be a game where Bam doesn't score a lot or doesn't score enough in the clutch moments and hit those mid-range shots. But Jokic is always going to be there. I like the Nuggets in 6.
Go ahead, Blake.
Walking into the series, I had the Nuggets in 5. The more I watch it, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7. I think a lot of it's going to. I think Jamal's going to figure it out. Obviously, I think he's an elite talent. Jokic is Jokic, but I think the secondary players for the Nuggets are going to start playing a lot better. I think the Heat secondary players are going to not playing as well. I don't think Duncan Robinson's going to have the same performance.
Yeah.
I don't think Gabe Vincent's going to have the same performance. I wouldn't be surprised if Max Strus goes off a couple games. He's that good of a three-point shooter, but I think the depth of the Nuggets and the height of the Nuggets will win this.
I agree. I like the Nuggets in 6. They would close it out on the road in that case, and I think the Nuggets have proven to be a better basketball team, and I think this will be a wake-up call. And keep this in mind, too, even though they came out flat yesterday, they still had a perimeter 3 attempt to tie the game late.
And they fouled.
possibly.
They fouled late in that game.
Now,
bad.
here's the other side of that, which Jake brought up earlier in the show, is Jimmy Butler still hadn't had his 45-plus point signature game yet. So when is that going to happen, and can it happen multiple times?
You almost want it on the road. Like if you're the Heat, like one time, give it to me on the road. Just it's again, it's fascinating. But Jared, thanks for calling in, man.
Appreciate it, Jared. Thanks, man. All right, let's go to Max in Michigan. Max, what's going on?
Hey guys, what's up? Hope you guys had a good weekend.
You too, brother.
But so being from Michigan, big Detroit Pistons fan here. Sadly, I've been in pain since like 2009, essentially.
Yeah.
Is it with how they did in the lottery and everything? And I just think it's completely ridiculous that the Pistons, the worst team in the NBA, get stuck with the 5th overall pick and everything. And it's just really making a lot of people think, at least even people who aren't Pistons fans are saying the draft lottery kind of maybe needs to be re-examined and everything, or at the very least, a better way so the worst teams can actually get those good picks that personally I think they rightfully deserve, because Wembanyama should be coming to Detroit, not going to Popovich and San Antonio over there.
I'm
just wondering what your guys' take on that is.
I just don't understand why you don't do it like the NFL. Like, why would you not? All right, here you go. Here's how the team's finished. Here's how you're going to draft. I mean, this isn't, and I get the lottery. It's like, it's out of attention, and, it gets people talking about it and things like that. But I think the best thing for the league is to do it like the way the NFL does it, and I've always thought that. Then you kind of, you get away from the talk of, it's rigged, they did this, you hear about the Spurs and stuff like that. I just think you should do it like the NFL does. It's the best way.
Yeah, well, it's not, it's not fair to fans to watch your team like tank season after season to try and get that number 1 pick, which is why it was instituted in the first place. But it's also not fair to fans. The whole point of this is to increase parity, right? So when you watch the San Antonio Spurs, who won 5 championships in my lifetime, go and get the number 1 player now, when, Detroit could really use that and had the worst season, that does, I think, make you re-examine some things. At the same time, it seems like there's a, plus and minus to both, because you don't want to watch the same teams just continue to tank, which is easier to do in basketball than, say, in football, where you have more players.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, and I'm hoping this giant contract they just gave Monty Williams.
Why? Why would you do that? Like why? I don't understand why. Not saying why did you hire him? I totally get hiring Monty Williams. He's a hell of a coach. But the guy just got fired. You don't have to treat him like he just won 2 championships and you're stealing him from somebody. I don't understand the thinking behind that.
Yeah, the funny thing actually too is I actually work for the Phoenix Suns owner.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, that was. I'll try not to say anything that could potentially get me fired.
Yeah,
but,
careful, bud.
That little encounter at Jokic was quite popular at the office.
Oh, I bet. Look, he gave you a point. The owner's out here getting in the box score.
Say go blue, Max.
Yeah.
That was great. But yeah, thanks guys. But I agree with the Pistons thing too, because they did the same thing with Dwayne Casey too, right after.
Yeah.
Right after he did really well with the Raptors. I'm like, you're wasting even more.
Well, it's almost like you're trying to prove to the fans. You're like, look, this is how good we want to be good. We're going to give them all your money. That's what we're going to do. But Max,
seriously.
But Max, thanks, buddy.
And it's like, thanks, guys. Have a great one.
All right, buddy.
Max, appreciate it, man. All right, last one for today. Let's go to Steve in Ohio. Steve, what's going on?
Here we go.
Steve.
Hey.
What's up, man?
I was inspired by Cody from Illinois.
He's very inspiring.
Come up with a new game.
All right. We got about 3 minutes. So let's rock and roll.
All right. It's called Who Did What.
And
the rules are I will give you 4 stats.
Nice.
And 3 players.
Okay.
One of the stats will apply to all 3 players. The other 3 stats will apply to 1 player each.
Okay.
All right, to win the game, you need to go 4 for 4.
Okay.
You can talk amongst yourselves and come up with a collective answer. After you answer, I will let you know how many you have correct.
Let's do it.
If you're not 4 for 4, then I'll give you one more chance to win.
All right, Steve, I like this.
All of these stats are from the 2001 baseball season. Okay. There's a batting average over 300. There's over 30 home runs, over 110 RBIs and striking out over 100 times.
Gotcha.
That's one player,
And
or
the
that's four players?
No, the players are Tino Martinez, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., and Andrew Jones.
Okay. All right, so those three players. So one of those applies to all three, correct?
Correct.
All right, the one that applies to all of them, I think, is Andrew Jones.
He hit over 300?
Yeah, but he also struck out a ton. Tino Martinez didn't strike out that much. Vlad Guerrero Jr. could hit home runs on balls that bounced up there. I'm just a little...
Feels like a trap.
No,
Go ahead.
The three players did... all three did only one of those stats. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. So one of them didn't. So all of those didn't apply to one of those players.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like one of the stats applied to all three players, and then the other three stats only applied to one player each.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, they all had to hit over 30 home runs, right? So I'd say the 30 home runs applies to all of them. I would say Andrew Jones struck out over 100 times. And I would say...
What was the other clue? Bases stolen?
No, you had 110 RBIs. I would say...
I'd say Vlad, probably.
Vlad had 110 RBIs. And Tino hit over 300.
Okay, right now you are 2 for 4.
It's Vlad. It's got to be...
So Vlad K'd over 100 times.
Vlad K'd over 100 times.
You think Andrew had over 110 RBIs?
Andrew had over 110 RBIs.
What about
Okay. The correct answers are the batting average over 300 was Vlad. He hit 307.
Damn it.
You got all three hit 34 home runs.
Yep. Okay. Got that one.
Now, Tino Martinez had 113 RBIs.
It's a good year for
And
Tino.
Andrew Jones struck out 142 times.
Yep. Okay.
Stuff right there.
That's
Well done,
Steve. That's a good one. I like it, buddy. I like that. Call in again. Let's do it
Appreciate
again.
it, Steve.
Thank you, Stevie.
Thank you, man. All right, everybody else on the line, y'all call in on y'all
Wednesday.
call in later this week.
All right. Let's get to the bets. Our Booster Club bets are brought to you today by DraftKings. Download the app now. Sign up with our code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER. Like we said, new customers can make a $5 bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly, just like that. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with our code BOOSTER. Also, our boy Bry Ganter, we're working on getting you that shirt, my friend, the first ever Booster Club monthly winner, doing it the way we do it. Remember, we put out the tweet every morning. You can find that at Jake Crane _Crane at Crane Company retweets it. Look, I won last month. All right, I was going to give my speech today, but we're kind of running out of time, so I'm going to give it tomorrow, a day where we don't have live calls, even though we miss them a lot. God, those baby roots look good over there. All right, start to this month. God's making me pay for winning last month. All right, I didn't lead until May 30th, day before the last day of the month. The real ones break late. Not going good so far, thanks to college baseball being an absolute disaster and Bam Adebayo not getting one more rebound. So,
Wait, I want to come back and check this real quick, okay? So as a guy who had Bam over 9.5 rebounds, I'm pretty sure a stat correction might be coming through.
Are you
I'm
serious?
pretty sure Bam got that last rebound on the last shot with like 0.6 seconds left, and they gave it
Okay,
to
well, I had
Caleb
Bam Adebayo double-double.
Okay,
and
so
he
they
was
gave it
one
to Caleb
rebound
Martin.
away.
The first rebound of the game?
No.
Did you have that bet?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure he got that last rebound, and they gave it to Caleb
All
Martin.
right, Cody, we'll check that one. Okay, that'd be great. Man, having a stat correction break in your favor. It's just great situation.
always
All right, tonight, betting college baseball, it's been a disaster so far, so we're going to stick with it.
Oh, boy.
Give me Florida and LSU together, parlay it at plus 116, and Arkansas and Kentucky together, plus 130. SEC, all right, I'm going with it. Decisive games, a lot of rain delays. It's basically been, speaking about Noah, someone's going to have to build an ark. There's been so much rain down here in the South and so much lightning, Ben Franklin style. What you got, David?
I'm going to go with the Panthers money line plus 115. Let's even up the series, kind of like the Heat did yesterday. Maybe we can get a Stanley Cup Finals series going and an NBA Finals series going.
that.
I think I'm bet buds with you. And then Rangers. Yeah, I'm a Rangers fan now. Rangers money line minus 140. They've been hot. Stay hot.
They have. All right. The thing about me, I had a terrible Sunday. But, when it comes to NBA games, I just love prop bets. Especially early prop bets are just so fun to bet. I have to do it when it comes on. So 8-8, but we're going to be okay. Give me the Panthers money line, a little bet buds Coney. I think they're going to split. Then give me the Padres -1.5 against the Cubs. A little Snell on the mound, a little lefty, pumping it today. 8-8. We'll see how it goes.
Plus 9, you're over 9.5 units up, right?
There's no way that's still real. Did you change that for today?
Yeah.
Well, didn't you hit a +600 yesterday?
Okay. I guess I hit one. Yeah. Okay, I'll take it. Whatever.
That's what Cody sent me. I write down. It's like burgundy.
And remember, that might be different if Bam Adebayo gets that last rebound. So we'll see with that stat correction. So.
Oh, you're saying it should be higher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Baby Cone plus 5, up 5 units. A 12-4. Kid's hot right now. Kid's hot. He's going to roll with LSU and Arkansas together +133, and he's going to take. It sounds like a battle in Ukraine. Zverev over Dimitrov at -.
Tennis, baby.
Yeah.
We got 5 minutes here. We got to get some donations.
Get to them.
Let's go to Freeway Jared, $5 donation. He says, Jimmy's not gassed, just being forced left off the switch with Joker size. It's a game of adjustments. Spo will find a way to open the floor up for him. I thought Spo did a great job of that yesterday.
I thought he did, yeah.
They already hit Swanee. Let's go to Ryan Gade, $10 donation. Happy mid-Monday. On a hot streak so far in first place in club bet up units. He's up 5 units right now.
Love to see it.
And he loves that Cone's a Rangers fan right now because now, Cone, you're forbidden to play that Tomahawk music. Forbidden.
I'll play it. Don't worry, I'll play it. By the way, I went over 1,000 bets this month in the Boosters Club. We were at like 995 last month.
No, absolutely. Let's go to Cole Frink.
I was wondering where he was.
I was wondering when this donation was going to come. $2. LeBron is mid. MJ's a goat, and the SEC is packed. Another donation, $2 donation from Cole. You need to give an American speech on barbecue. I think so, too. Tristan, $2, hashtag Jake is a spy, and hashtag Timmer.
I'm not a spy.
You're a spy. That's exactly what spies say. Byron Davis, $5 donation. I want my booster club name to be Bone Collector. Ooh. You guys are the best.
I love that. That's a great movie, too.
Joshua Beck says everything Christopher Nolan does is gold.
Yes.
Including Boss Baby. What a movie. Let's go to, we have 3 minutes. I guess we got some more time for the poll. I want you to know what the poll is, though, is will Oppenheimer be a letdown?
Oh,
okay, so
that's the poll?
That's the poll.
I think it's going to be explosive.
Let's go to Logan Atkins. He's like, what are the odds on Miami goes up 3-1 on Denver now they're going back to Miami with all the momentum?
Not good. 3-1?
2-2. I think it's 2-2. I think the Nuggets are going to win the next one, and then the Heat are going to win the one after that. It's going to be 2-2, going back to Denver. And then they go 1-1-1, right? It's 2-2-1-1.
So you're saying it goes 7 now?
No, I'm talking about that's just how it
format.
The format of it for people that are confused.
Deacon Honor says, did you see that missed call last night where Jimmy Butler jumped with the ball and came down with it and it wasn't called? I thought the refereeing was bad yesterday, but it's bad for both teams. So
yeah, well, it felt like to me there was a lot of fouls that weren't called.
Yeah,
like especially in the first half, like they were just like just punching each other. Like my thing is, and listen. I'm about consistency, right? If you're going to call it one way, call it that way the whole game. But they call every game different in the NBA. And I'm not saying to be perfect. I'm not saying it's easy, but just be similar. Same, but different, but still same.
Same. Let's go to Hall Family 2001. Good morning, boys. Good morning to you. It says 2 things. Reached level 18 today.
Yeah.
And I realized that Kentucky has no major sports team, NBA, MLB, NFL, NHL. Which one do you think is most likely to be established first? First of all, congratulations, man. You're legal.
Congrats on 18. Welcome. You're now in the Army.
Yeah.
But let's see. Which one would be a Kentucky first? Got to be NBA, right?
God, it has to be.
Think so?
It has to be. It's a basketball state.
Yeah, maybe that's why they don't want an NBA team.
Yeah, I'm not saying they should.
Kentucky and Louisville. It's kind of like Alabama.
I'm not saying
football.
they should, but like if you asked me in the state of Alabama, what would they put in there if it was a pro team? It'd be football. It's a football state. I think it'd have to be basketball.
John Minery, AK. Morning, fellas. Good morning to you. I'm in Montana for work from Alaska this summer. Just found out that sports betting is legal. Just signed up on DraftKings and use code Booster.
Yeah.
Yes. My first ever legal sports bet. Thanks to you boys. Appreciate y'all. Also, watched your video on betting last night. With that said, NHL is my special betting, so I'm going to take Panthers money line today.
Okay.
Let's go Panthers. P.S. Go Bucks. Michigan sucks.
What a great comment.
You're at a great time of year to be in Montana in June. It is like a Disney movie out there, except not weird and crazy. Like they're just like animals are just like singing around you. Like it's just crazy. It's like the sound of music.
All right, a couple things real quick. Then poll EWB11 just picked up one of those Raycons for my dad.
I'm telling you, it's the move.
Suggestion.
Love
They're
it.
great, man.
Get
They're
a pair and a
phenomenal.
spare.
And 2, it was Stony Point, not Stony Brook.
Stony Point is not. I don't think that's a place.
It is.
Stony Point. Did Stony Brook?
They beat
change
Georgetown.
Their name? Did Stony Brook change their name?
No, I don't think so. This was
Stony
2012.
Point?
They beat Georgetown.
Man, maybe I'm wrong.
All right.
I've never heard of that place.
Poll.
Poll.
All right, well, Oppenheimer, be a letdown. Yes or no?
I'm going to say no. 67%.
No, 68%. I think they believe.
No. 56%.
I love starting Monday with a win on the poll.
44%. I really hope it's not.
I really hope it's not either, but knowing Hollywood these days, nothing else would shock me. Great show, guys. Great Monday. Timmy B.
Fantastic.
Look, y'all know we rep the SEC here, but we'll also call it out. Okay, we'll also call it out when it's doing bad. That's a bad SEC. That's a bad SEC. You got anything else?
Good show, guys.
Thanks,
Great
man.
show. You look great in that shirt.
Yeah, you do too.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you
French Spy.
what. Yeah.
Brad Pitt and that one girl with that movie. Did you send the blue dot?
No, it's like all of a sudden I'm living with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, curving bullets.
That's a totally different movie, but I get what you're saying. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 here on YouTube. Listen on audio as well. We really appreciate it. Go check out Raycon, Black Rifle, as we mentioned as well, and DraftKings as usual. Use promo code Booster. You heard that. Like the chances of there being a sweep in the NBA Finals. We're going. God.